the time indicator on iTunes is always wrong. And you get 1 second of the next song before I get the chance to pause it. Hello, how are you all doing? Hello! Hello, hello, hello. Higher energy than that. Yay! Hello. Hello. Welcome. Let's get music up. So, last stream, we did... we played Ori and the Blind Forest for the first time, and I mentioned how I'd like to get the soundtrack to it, because it's very nice. When I closed the game at the end of last stream, I was welcomed with a screen saying, "Would you like to accept this gift of the soundtrack from Try?" So thanks to Try, we can listen to it in this stream. So that's nice. It's very kind. It happened at some point in the stream. I don't know when it was. But that's very nice. So let's put that on. Volume. There we are. Right, let's get it out of the way so we can actually see what we're drawing. Because today we're doing stickers. Hurrah. Where are we? Here we are. Roughly. Nothing set up. As usual. Nothing's planned. Yeah. How are we all doing? Are we all well? I recognise this bit. My microphone is too close to the thing. Hang on. There might be rumbles. My apologies. I'll just move this slightly. There we go. You're lining a parsley right now. That makes more sense if you know there's a character called Parsley. Otherwise, this is an unusual hobby. Doing silhouettes of herbs. You fell asleep after eating after work and you don't know for how long for. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yes. So, I did no vocal warm-ups today and it shows. So what are we doing? Good question. We are designing stickers. I have looked through my list of suggestions for stickers. There are many. And the one that stuck out to me was one that didn't make sense at first, but then when I thought about it, I thought, there's a solid theme, but variety you can do, which was kittens / liquid cats. Now, I didn't quite know what that meant at first, but the first thing that came to mind is that the tendency for cats, when they get into a container of some description, to completely fill and conform to the shape of said container. So we can sort of look up, if I just type in liquid cat, probably get some weird results, but I imagine, yeah, so more, talking that sort of thing. Sort of just becoming the shape. So I thought we could draw some cats in weird shapes. Why not? I don't know how well it's gonna go, but we'll give it a crack. Why not? Right. Anywho, how are we all doing apart from I was going to say missing sleep, but it's the opposite. It's missing awakeness, a wickedness. How big's that? It's too big. Too small. That looks roughly like a circle, doesn't it? Right. Have we all had a good week thus far? The missing sleep, 2U plus 6 AM starts equals brain melt. Oh dear. Plus all the stuff you're having to deal with at work. Not a fantastic time. So, how do you structurally draw a cat squashed up against the thing? This is challenge number 1. Which is a challenge that's going to have to be faced several times, I imagine. Give nose, give ears. Well, there's ears. How do cat ears? Let me get those images back up as reference. I have a cat. I do, but I tend not to draw her very much. So, you know. Wide eyes or self-satisfied? Or both. Wide, self-satisfied eyes. Yeah, I don't know. How do cats work? I also thought we don't have to restrict this to domestic cats. We can do the occasional lion or tiger or something. How does one draw a cat? I don't know. If this is going to be as disastrous as it feels, we may have to try a different prompt. About that. Immediately thought of a lion with a fishbowl on his head, the water and the fish still there. So that's what I was going to do here, was a cat just sort of taking up this whole space, and then there just being like a little goldfish sort of also there, sort of stuck. But the lion one makes sense. I like that. We can try both. Okay. Step 1.5. How do you draw a lion? Draw a cat, give mane. Fair enough. So that's the normal shape, but I'm sort of imagining it being a bit... I don't know. How do their heads? How does lion? Answers? Like these sort of... that sort of thing going on. Is this gonna work? Don't know if it's gonna work. Today I feel is not going to go smoothly, but here we are. They're just going to get in the way, possibly. Got to draw the rest of it now. I thought I'd do this in sort of sketchy form rather than... last time we did it just sort of with pure colour straight away. Thought it'd make more sense to get structure down for this, because it's all about sort of structure. Hello-obs! Hello-obs! Like that, less wings. Okay. So what, just one wing, or...? It's a nice hairdo. Let's have this slightly at an angle. This is going to take some refinement, of course, but I think the idea is there. Darcy is really making you aware today that you need to work on your knowledge of anatomy. I get that constantly. The tip is to only work on things that have that bear no resemblance to humans. That's my plan. So yeah, I'll work on the lionness. Not lioness, the lionness. Anatomy. Can't even take the mick out of it. Sort of difficult to give it the impression that it's supposed to be a main if it's just... How far back does it go? No, not that far. Everyone noodle. Absolutely. Makes it sound like Parsley is naked. He's not. He's just wearing a crop top with low pants that made you realise you don't know how hips do. Yeah. It's the eternal problem with Malachi. We just dressed like M or Rufus, I wouldn't have this problem. Bring that down. This doesn't actually look like a line, but it's a starting point. Parsley, so much harder to dress than rags, and now you feel your pain. Not too bad with Malachi. I think what to me is distasteful. Cool, Malachi will wear that. He's a pain to colour. Ah, thank you for the good gif. I need to move this up so I can see it properly. Yes. Thank you for the reference. I do actually have a picture of a line, or several pictures of lines. There is around, aren't there? Interesting. Varg is just your own clothes modified to be more stylish. Parsley is a bit more adventurous. Yeah, it's pretty. That's the Rufus Malachi analogy. But it's good because you're pushing yourself to think about things that you wouldn't ordinarily do, which is what you want. Like parachute pants. I'm going to be MC Hammer. Hammer Time played in your shop, and the younger colleague had no idea who he was. He died little. Yeah, it happens. It's a thing with age. I mean, even then, was that the 80s or the early 90s, something like that? Like, I wasn't really cognizant of it when it came out, so I can't be too upset with that. What does a lion's tail look like? Good question. That's not a nice picture. That's also not a nice picture. Give me nice pictures of lions, please. I don't know what the inside of a lion looks like. Thank you. I hesitate to type this in, but I'm going to put lion tail. Ah, that's okay. That's cute. Right. So it's sort of hairless with a little fluff ball on the end. Well, not hairless, but short-haired. I can't draw today, can I? It happens. It happens. Don't worry about it. Just trying to work out how best to do this for the purposes of stickers, because, you know, packing them is awkward. It should be further up, I guess. Also, it should peter out, shouldn't it? Thinner at the end than at the base. You'll do the last thing. A sentence in 3 acts. I like it. It's dramatic. Yes. Okay, so we've gone for the big cat already. Let's try a small cat. Oobs, I think you arrived a little after I described what was going on. We're doing liquid cats, which is, as far as Google image search is concerned, cats which conform to the container in which they are. So one idea I did have. Again, I'm just sort of trying to think. We will just draw a cat in a vase at some point. But I was trying to think of sort of odder versions of that, just to sort of spice it up a bit. You're just ready to accept that that lion had gills. It's under the mane, it's fine. Fine. Should at least attempt some sort of simple structure here. Some stickers are gonna kill Miss. I don't believe Miss yet knows what they are, but hopefully she likes them. Let's get up some particular. Just get references for a kitten. They really do have round heads, don't they? Worried looking eyes. How do they do the worried? I think it's just general sort of shape, isn't it? Looks a little bit like a baby wolf, but it's fine, don't worry about it. Kittens have two modes, worried or evil. Guess which one I took more time over. Does it look more like a dog? Why does it look more like a dog? I suppose the noses of cats are further down, I guess. So I'm learning stuff here. It's sort of like a line from the head down. So eyes lower. Whole face lower, I guess. How do cat? How do cat and not puppy? Ears higher up, maybe? Did you ever talk at the time your sister had someone bring a box of kittens without a mum but too young to be on their own? They were so young they had to be fed with a syringe every 3 hours or so. Oh no. Why do you look not like a kitten? This is just going to turn into Crispy does not know how to draw cats. The stream. They were on the verge of dying, but your sister had booked a weekend away, so you had to take over. Oh dear. I lived by your nourishing hand. Ah, Oobs, be good person. We knew this. That's better. Get rid of some dead space. Oop, whoops. Computer, calm down. No, I don't want to draw in white. I can work with this to make it not awful. But the idea is there. So, I reckon for one, make them bigger. Bigger and closer together like that. Because they don't have to be sort of... The proportions of the test tubes do not need to be scientifically accurate. What else have we got? I like the idea of doing a Klein bottle, but I don't know how to... If I'm having trouble drawing a cat, trying to draw a cat in a Klein bottle, whatever that means, might be a bit out of my reach. Something like that. Let's get in there. These drawings are far too big. Make space. No, it can be bigger actually. Okay. I will probably cartoonify these a bit more, particularly the line, but we'll get there. Offer the idea of a musical kitty, aka a cat in a musical instrument. Can do. I mean, sticking a head out of like a trumpet seems like the most obvious, but like the tail from the mouthpiece. Or we could do a long, like a clarinet, or it's more fun to be bendy, I guess. But that means I have to draw a trumpet. Some reason you were just reminded of that instrument you drew in the draw pile once. Yes, I can't remember what I called that. The long and winding thing. 3 valves. There's like something here. It's a bit valve. I think that goes in front. No, that's... yeah. Oh, I don't know. It's been a while. Why did I draw this diagonally? I just don't know. Get this perspective roughly not terrible. Because you like making things difficult for yourself. Like's a strong word. Feel compelled to is probably more accurate. Anyway, right. That's not the important bit. The important bit is the cat. So let's do that. Just looks like a fox, doesn't it? Today is not a good drawing day, it turns out. Look at this possum I've drawn. Trying to look up. Probably be better to sort of make this bigger and more submerged. It's better to have it sort of shouting or. I mean, it's probably the closest thing to a cat I've drawn in the last 40 minutes, but it don't look happy to be in there, does it? It's fine, don't worry about it. Look at that sad puppy. None of these feel like stickers yet. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to go over and redo all of these. Looks like he's trying to challenge you to say something about a situation. Yeah. I'm amazed I haven't yet thought to try and invent some sort of brass instrument based cat pun. Yeah, no, I've got nothing. Probably for the purposes of a sticker, make that a bit shorter. Doesn't have to be musically accurate. Where's Miss when you need her? Miss Crow, anyone? So look at that sad puppy reminded you of a Tumblr post you saw where a husky had been raised in the same house as a bunch of cats, so they did all the cat stuff like hiding in boxes and sitting like a loaf. Aww. It's a huskitten. Probably a huscat probably would have worked better, but there's not something there, is there? I haven't played the trumpet for ages. Don't worry about it. Huskitten sounds cuter. That's fair. The huskitten grows into a huscat. Right. So. Ah! Look at the kittens! Look at them trying their best. That's very cute. Should we give a nominal? Well, let's go simple. Here's a vase. You know, at no point when I chose this prompt did I actually consider the fact that I don't know how to draw cats. It would have been nice. Would have been nice to have thought of that. Thought about that. Apologies, still haven't done any vocal warm-ups, obviously. Oh. Now you're gonna learn by force, yeah. Let's try and do the smush one. But we have already done a smush one. But, and the body's sort of just gonna go. You get to hear me gush over cats. Cats are cute. It's just I have no idea how to draw them. Even ones that are anatomically... Okay. Anatomically questionable. Right. Why do you keep doing that? Give me colour, thank you. So it's really just sort of a matter of working out where those little bits go. Let's stick in a nose in between. And bingo, you got a cat. That's a pug. Um... Maybe start with a blip. It's a cute bat, but it's one letter difference. Who's going to notice? I mean, if your cat starts flying, call a vet. Nothing to do with cats, but you started reading your book on Celtic mythology. Fantastic. Anything interesting? Well, I assume there's plenty interesting, but anything interesting you wish to share? Rule number 1, if it makes me laugh, keep it. I think that's probably the most successful one so far. I'm glad you like it, Kira. The introduction chapter was something, but it was interesting to read about linguists finding similarities between Old Irish and Hindu, showcasing their common root. Ooh! I like stuff like that. Yeah, this is more what I was picturing. Stuff like that. Because it's... Ooh, dramatic music. Excited to play more of this tomorrow. Yes, I like that one. It will stem from Indo-European. As do I, Kira. And I'm glad you're having a good time. Or did you already beat it? I'm glad you had a good time with the new one. Oh, you're still playing it. Okay, I'm glad you had and continue to have a good time. Or hope you continue to have. It's like the Spanish Inquisition, isn't it? Our chief weapon is hoping you had a good time and hoping you will have a good time. And that having had a good time, you will have had to have hadding. Yeah, but I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would, so I didn't really know what it was going in, obviously, so but now I do. I'm on board. And I'm glad that you're glad, and I'm glad that you're having the glad have adding. The old Irish word bodha, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, which means deaf. Is that like bad here? Or am I trying to force some sort of English? Comparable to the Sanskrit word badhura, which also means deaf. Yeah. Cool, cool. Right. That's where the English word bother comes from. That's cool. Why? How did it turn into bother? Turned into bother in the 18th century. Those bothersome 18th century peeps. Let's try this Klein bottle thing. It'll probably be an absolute disaster, but... would you be able to be playing They Bleed Pixels as a one-off stream? You remember watching a Let's Play of it and it looked kind of rad. Do I have it? It's either one of those ones I had or it's on my wish list. Let's have a look. Okay, apparently I don't have it. Hang on one sec. Oh, it's pretty cheap. Yeah, I could consider giving it a go at some point. We're always up for bothering some stuck-up Victorians. That's the 19th century, I believe. So far you've read one of the Irish tales and the creation tale about how the world was made. Ooh, do tell. Tell. Yeah, okay, I'll stick it on my wish list and I'll get back. Right. Klein bottle. It's gonna be fun. I've never drawn a Klein bottle. Let's see how it goes. Pretty standard sort of retorty thing to begin with. Should we go left or right? Yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know, they gotta remember names. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, a Klein bottle is essentially a 3D version of a Mobius strip, in as much as... I should probably explain what a Mobius strip is. Mobius strip is if you take a strip of paper, twist one of the sides around 180 degrees, and then stick the two ends together, you end up with something that looks like... Gotta draw a Mobius strip. Hang on. How to draw a Mobius strip? Something that's difficult to draw. I think it's that. I think it's relatively straightforward. Nope, that is just a circle. So we need to do that as well. That looks about right. Got like a little twist in it. So, and the thing that's interesting about this, sorry, I'll get through this as quickly as I can so that story time with Chibi is not interrupted. The thing that's interesting about this is it only has one side. Again, you can do this with just a piece of paper and some sellotape. So if you sort of trace one side, this is now around the back of that one, so it'll come out here, then you go across, and now we're on the back of this face, and then now we're on the front of this bit, now we're on the back of this bit, and we come back to where we start. So you've managed to trace the whole thing, even though it's only, you've gone round, as it were, both sides, but there is only one side. A Klein bottle is the same sort of thing, but in 3D, its inside is the same as the outside. It's difficult to make in 3D because you have to intersect an object with itself, and as a consequence, it's not really a 3D object so much as a 4D object. Blah blah blah. But people make them, and they look cool. That's why I said it's going to be difficult to put a cat inside something that whose inside is its outside. But I'll give it a try. Anyway, story time with Chip. So here's the inside, and then you go through here, through this bit. Oh, now you're outside. So now you get back inside from there, but... Oh, you do it from this being the outside, you go through here around the outside of this part, and now you're in the inside of this part, and then you go through there, so on and so forth. None of that made sense, it doesn't matter. We just need a cat in one of these. So... let's do it upside down so that it can come out the top. Like this. It's like a musical instrument. I can do that with colour, how it intersects. Here we go. In the beginning, the earth was unrefined. It was chaos and arid deserts and bubbling volcanoes. From the heavens fell water. The divine waters named Danu brought life to the earth. From the newly watered soil grew bile, the sacred oak tree. Probably pronounced not bile, but maybe bile. I don't know. With a nice sort of aesthetic loop. Sounds very Legend of Zelda. I mean, a lot of fantasies are based on various religions around the world, so... Actually, I wonder how you actually make a Klein bottle mathematically. Never bothered to look it up. Sorry, slight aside. Maybe a strip is a surface with whereas a movie strip is a surface with boundary, a Klein bottle has no boundary. Blah, blah, blah. Construction. The following, yep. Oh, it is described in the same way. Oh, but you have to identify two parts. That makes sense. Okay. Okay, anyway, Danu is in Donau? Danu. Bile dropped 2 giant acorns. The first acorn was male. From the acorn sprung forth the good god, aka Dagda. The second acorn was female. From this one emerged Bridget, the exalted one. And they were the first children of Danu, the mother goddess. Ooh. Ah, the Danube. 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 Right. How to make a cat fit in this? Maybe we have like that's a ferret. What are ferrets but long cats? True. It's got a much bigger rear end than front end, so if we just sort of move this. There. This game definitely has a motif. Okay, so let's... This, make it smaller. I think there's a reason I've never seen a cat diving into a Klein bottle sticker before. It's also giving you flashbacks. Oh. Good ones, I hope. All the death and horribleness is out of the way. Yeah. I'm sure everything's going to be absolutely fine. 4 cities were made on the banks of the Danube where the Danube's children settled. Phalius, Gorias, Phineas, and Murias. Ah, yes, of course. The children of Danu followed Bridget's example and gathered knowledge from the bile of the tree, but because they were not allowed to call the tree by its name, they called it Drowoi. Those who learned this oak drew knowledge, became known as druids. Ooh. That seems like a kind of backwards etymology thing, of like, yeah, there were the people who worshipped this tree. Well, why were they called druids? Because they called the tree something else. They called it Drowoi, but wasn't it called Danu? No, they couldn't call it that. Seemed like you were taking a dramatic pause, but you just went past the word limit. Well, it worked. I was convinced. The Irish are very good at backwards etymology. This is a very ineffective way of trying to chase your own tail. Also, cats don't do that. Well, I mean, a cat can. Probably actually works better this way around now. Okay, with some refinement, that's not entirely awful. Does look like a ferret. But then again, this looks like a wolf. This looks like a Mobius strip. Oh, there's a really interesting thing about what happens if you cut a Mobius strip in half. Along that line, I can't remember what it is, because you can make it. You make a Mobius strip by twisting the piece of paper once, 180 degrees, but you can do that 360, 540, 720, 900, so on and so forth. And if you cut them in half, weird things happen along that sort of dotted line. But I can't remember, so we'll leave it. Look it up. It's interesting. I did it. There was paper everywhere. Oh, that's it. If you twist it an odd number of times, you end up, obviously because you're cutting it in half. No. Sometimes you end up with just one thing. Other times you end up with two. And sometimes they interlock and sometimes they don't. It's weird. It's a good thing to do with some paper. Eventually, after many eons, the children of Nanu were called together by the father of the gods, the Dagda. He told them to head to Ireland because it was their destiny. The Irish love their destinies. It's a whole thing. Don't question it. Fair enough. Right. So we had the Klein bottle. We've got this. It's got vase. I think that's definitely my favourite so far. I don't think there's other types of cats to draw. Okay, fun fact. Fun fact: if you type in cats, you get news about the film Cats. I knew you'd have a strong opinion on that. Yeah, there's not as much variety in cats as there is in dogs. Then again, I suppose if I just have another crack at trying to draw an actual cat, wouldn't be too bad, would it? like this to be further up. For the sake of clarity. You really mean don't question it, because in Irish tales, if a destiny is placed upon them, they have to fulfill them. Breaking your destiny or guess was the worst thing to do. Talked about it in class a lot. Haven't just done a normal glass yet. So. I'm going to do something like this. I should probably whip out the old symmetric tool thing. How to draw a cat here in an interesting fashion. What on earth am I looking at? Oh, Syriac. That makes sense. When you see an animal and it's got too many things, it's Syriac. Just that. There was this one guy named after the Irish word for badger, and therefore a guy to never harm that animal was placed upon him, and when his son killed badgers to serve as an important feast, he had to disown his son. I mean, he didn't do it. You shouldn't have to fulfill the destiny of your parents. That's their job. There was some milk at the bottom of this glass. It's gone now. According to the rules of courtesy, the father would have to eat the animals, so the son made the father break his curse. I mean... Did he? Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Which one's more important? The rules of courtesy or the thing that's so important that you have to fulfill the whole thing? That's the point of your life. Or, you know, being polite at the dinner table. Sounds to me like an excuse to not obey table manners. I love playing devil's advocate. The rules of courtesy. Not very courteous to the badger, is it? You may have a guy put upon you, but you're rude. I mean... I don't know. It feels like one of those unstoppable force immovable object things. At some point, you've just got to contemplate the concept that, hey, maybe one of them isn't. I mean, to be fair, if the son knew this and put on that feast anyway, bit of an arsehole move, but at the same time, just don't eat. It's fine. I'm probably being very rude to a culture at the moment, but you know. I derive humour from being contrarian. And that makes me an arsehole. It's fine, don't worry about it. Does this one work? I'm not sure this one works. Usually the rules of courtesy win. Okay, so the rules of courtesy take precedent over your fate. That's very weird. And people suffer. And this is why the rules of courtesy shouldn't win. It might be better once I get some colour in there. So I have some sort of stripes or... So it needs to be further up. Also, this is a big cup. Or a small cat. Maybe a bigger cat. Let's give it a bigger paw. It's hard to draw cats in containers. This is what I'm learning. I'm also learning that the rules of etiquette in ancient Celtic society is not as I imagined them. True to the Scaling of Cats 2019, a masterpiece. Oh, yeah. Well, that was last decade. It's fine. It's outdated now. Anyway, sorry, Jibby. I didn't mean to be rude about the culture you're looking up. Do feel free to continue sharing interesting info. I just like trying to pick things apart. I'll work on that. What else? I mean, I have 6, so we're sort of bare minimum. To continue your tale, you went on a sidetrack there. Nuada of the Silver Hand led the children of Danu to Ireland, but unfortunately it was taken by the Fomori, so they fought. Honestly. You'd never get that on mainland Britain. Never guess who won. The sheep? Because it doesn't matter who wins, someone's going to look after the sheep. Peaceful Brits, we've never invaded anything. We've never invaded anything. We've never been invaded in our entire history. This is a land of complete peace. I'm sure I had more ideas than this. This is why you write your ideas down. How about an actual cat puddle? To bring about that. You love this mostly because the actual current Brits are descendants of the Anglo-Saxons and the Anglo-Normans, not to be confused with the Britons who are Welsh. What are you talking about? Britain has been occupied by the same people for 7 trillion years. No invasions, no relocations, etc., etc. Satire. Long live the Empire. We exist to share tea. By which I mean take your tea. Honestly, just as confusing as the Picts who live in Scotland and the Scotia who are Irish. Don't worry about it. It kind of works. Again, does it scan? Does it scan as its own thing? This is the thing I'm sort of thinking of. Like on a sheet with 5 other stickers with the heading Liquid Cats. You can get the gist of it, but on its own? Ooh, action! Drama, suspense! Ostinatos! The tribe in Senua's last sacrifice The tribe in Senua's sacrifice were the Picts. That's the end of your knowledge. You played the game. You played the entire game. They have portals. They can make letters out of burning bits of wood. These are the things I know about the Picts. Anyway, the opponents of the Children of Danu won in the beginning because they had to fight a Balor who was very strong. I imagine chibi drawing soon. I feel like I can do this slightly better, but it'll take a few iterations. This is like the first sticker making stream where almost certainly everything you see that comes out of this will look nothing like the drawing I did on stream. And I want to get these off quickly because the new sticker company takes a little longer to print stuff. That said, they have recently... So I ordered the first batch for Patreon and they didn't send... I think it was an order of 25 sheets. Because that's their minimum order, apart from 1. But they only sent through 15. But they have... I did get an email today saying that they sent the other 10. So that was nice. Basically, administrative cock-up. They sorted it all out very quickly. Good on them. Yay. Also eco-friendly. And the packaging was all paper. It came in a paper jiffy bag, wrapped in a brown paper bag with paper stickers. Hooray! I mean, sort of, if we go in with a pun. Oh, that's good. A little bit more traditional. Noada, who by now had a silver hand and therefore couldn't lead, got a new hand, but he still lost a battle. This was when Lug Lamfada came to the battlefield. He killed off Balor and ended the battle between the two tribes. Good on them. This is a seal. This is a fennec fox. The idea always seems alright in my head, and then I draw, and it's like, That don't work at all. That don't work none. This sounds like end cutscene music. And by that you mean the Fomori were sent back to their undersea fortress, i.e. they were drowned, and the children of the Danu got Island. It's a euphemism for concrete shoes. There's a lot you're leaving out. You're giving me an abridged history of the entire Celtic peoples. I'm sure there's an awful lot you're leaving out, but understandably so. But I always like good chibi history times. Just simplify the design of these, just to be like that. Just to avoid complication, keep stickers simple if at all possible. This is probably, in terms of the plumbing, it's probably more likely to be like that. Maybe perhaps important to note is that the children of the Danu are literally the gods, as you do, and during the battle with the Fomori they were made mortal because the Fomori got rid of their healing water. It sounded like they were gods, it sounds like they had healing water. Flashes of Sekiro. It's both. Healing water made them immortal, and they are gods. But if you have to keep having it, is that immortality? Also, wouldn't you protect the thing that makes you immortal? Sorry, I'm nitpicking again. While I'm designing a terrible looking tap. Why does it need two temperatures? It's cat. It has one temperature, and that's cat. I'm nitpicking the mythology that you're telling me that exists, and yet I'm not nitpicking the thing I'm making. My priorities are all over the place. And you know, if they have to keep drinking it, but it heals them when they're wounded. Immortality and invisibility are not the same as Dark Ones told you. I mean, immortality just means you can't die. Invincibility means you can't be hurt, I guess. So I suppose it's like Bloodborne. The what was her name? Annalise, Vile Blood Queen. She was immortal, but she was a pile of goo at one point. That encounter didn't end well. Bloodborne jar, yep. That's much simpler. Why didn't I just do that to begin with? Anyway, here's a cat droplet. That works. Bloodborne is basically Dark Souls, only slightly different. Sekiro, on the other hand, is like Assassin's Creed, but if the people who made Dark Souls made it. Okay. What sort of cat in container, cat doing silly squashy thing would you want as a sticker? Because some of these are kind of interesting drawings, but are they good stickers? That's the question. Again, like I said, I'm going to redesign some of these, but sounds like we're at the end of the soundtrack. I know my musical cadences. Got 10 seconds. I'm also glad that out of everything you're questioning, you decided to question the god's immortality healing water thing and not the fact that someone had a silver hand, which they got replaced with a regular hand, which is totally fine. I did kind of glance over that. Again, a bit Sekiro. Or Elden Ring, actually. We don't know a lot about that, but there is a very cool female knight lady who has an interesting arm that she takes off. So yeah, let's listen to something else. It's a nice soundtrack. I need to listen to it properly. It's very good. Let's listen to something else. Hollow Knight's an old favourite, isn't it? Why not? Okie dokie. Sticker. I do also like the fact that they have a silver hand, which is cool, but that means they can't lead. Not sure why. Lacking dexterity or something? That means he's blemished. But not tarnished. Got to keep that silver clean. And then some Clearasil and some Silvo, and it'll be fine. Is Silvo a thing outside of Britain? Feels like a British band, about British brand. Also, is salad cream a thing outside of Britain? Because I've never heard anyone else mention it. Humor's not good today. It made me laugh. Which probably actually backs up your point. Because my sense of humour is terrible. You've been playing Stardew Valley for like 5 hours straight and you're very groggy. I mean, I'm very groggy. naturally, so you have nothing to fear from judgment. But did you enjoy yourself? There's the thing. There's that 9th or 2nd or whatever it is. The E and the F sharp. Finally got a goddamn greenhouse. Does that take a while? That's part of the Leathermon. Does sound like something from Digimon, but cool. The ruler's truth, which means that if a ruler is in perfect health and his rule is just, his people will flourish. Ah, so you need both. Seems unfair. I'd be happy with just a just rule, to be honest. I'd be very happy with a just rule. Let's curb that line of reasoning. Oh, apparently I left the chat. Sorry. Sorry, me. I've got to go. Let's grab a picture. Oh. That's not how you spell that. I can't type. Give me pictures. Your professor told you once that once a king got blinded by bees. That's a bad picnic. So he had to be replaced as king. Not too big. But anyway, that's why the guy couldn't rule, because he had a silver hand, but he could rule again when his silver hand was replaced with a regular hand. It's what's with who? Hornet? Nope, False Knight, apparently. The boss I skipped Are you supposed to be able to actually get out of that arena? Is that a thing that's supposed to happen? Because I did that. I just left. Have another crack at these. You recognise that music though, and you've never fought them, really? I guess, given the fact that I just left their arena, that they are optional. Like the first boss I came across. I thought it was one of those things a bit like Undertale, where you could kind of skip bosses and sort of there's always a way out, and then I couldn't do it for any of the others. That's fine. You're riding the high of the greenhouse. Ah. Boom. I got a pun, finally. I had to plant them coconuts. Ooh. Further forward. I recognise this music. Closer to a cat. Not quite there, but closer. There's that motif. One of the things you love, though, is that Morrigan is mentioned in the middle during the battle, and then she shows up at the end of the battle to sing a song, and then she fucks off again. I mean, that's probably how I'd interact with the battle. Turn up, you do the whole Abe Simpson thing, turn up, take hat off, see what's going on, put hat back on again, walk out the door. And then turn up at the end and like, I wrote a song. It is Green Path, yes. I was watching a series about people in medieval times and various jobs that were around, and the minstrels and the jesters and things like that, and what their jobs actually entailed, and that it wasn't all easy. And you basically sort of had to court favour with whoever was in power, and you had to write songs about them, and all that stuff. And make sure you're doing it to the right person, because if you wrote enough songs about somebody who then falls out of favour... do kind of want to draw the Morrigan, even though so far she hasn't been written about or described. Something about battle-loving, vengeful Raven Queen Goddess just makes you really happy. Can't possibly imagine what it is. Yeah, I'll work on that. Get one more idea down. One more silly thing. Was she actually a raven? Yeah, flew into the battle, flew away, And then at the end, flew back in and went, rah! And that was it. That was the song. Respect the hustle. You honestly don't know, she hasn't been described yet. She's beyond description. That said, it is a perfect bed for drawing someone. You have no description other than their personality or their acts. It's up to you. "10 minutes. Do something in 10 minutes. And they've fixed the proportions of that line. There we go. That's the Hornet music I know and love. I really feel like I should play Hollow Knight again. But I also want to play Salt and Sanctuary again. And so many other games. Yeah, I'll work it out. But will I? There's the question, will I? Will I actually work it out? That's better. It's a very limiting idea. Cat in weird shape. Just draw a weird shape. Trying to think of something that is that shape. That's what I should have done. I should have just drawn a bunch of weird shapes. And drawn a cat in that shape. But there you go. You live and learn. I mean, a milk bottle would make sense, wouldn't it? Or is that a bit too standard? Yeah, we can try it. Okay, a bit too standard. Oh, I love dead air, don't you? Yeah, no, my brain's firing on approximately half a cylinder today. It's not... Ironically, it's not flowing. Then again, I suppose we have got 9 ideas here. Isn't terrible. You're blanking too. Oh yeah, it's. I'm sure there's some good stuff there. But like. Maybe just another big cat. Your brain is now just occupied with Irish myth. That's fine. Your brains don't have to do anything. It's my brain I'm worried about. Yeah, so like a sort of tiger. What would a tiger do? Low energy streams, love them. It's a very classical, this one, isn't it? Is it the harpsichord? Or it is the harpsichord. Yeah, no, it's been 5 minutes, nothing's happened on stream. Could you call it there? What's everyone planning to do tomorrow? All I can think of is that has to do with the cat is Lynx, because that came up while we were talking about Welsh poetry in class. I know little of the lynx. I know approximately what they look like, but given how good I am at drawing normal cats, probably wouldn't end well. But what could we do with the lynx? My immediate thought would be like a deodorant can, but unfortunately that doesn't translate well because the brand Lynx over here is called, I think, Axe in America. Also, how does a cat come out of a deodorant can? Spray on cat. Bit weird. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we could just end the stream. There's only 5 minutes left. It'll be the end of the world. Let's do that. Let's go out on a not a absolute low. Let's go out before we hit the bottom. Cool. Right. Stream end. Boom. We got stuff down. These have potential. They're not great, but I can work them into something when I'm more in the mood. Your brain went to Inkwell, but that's more because of poetry of Lynx. Nor do you think it would translate for anyone other than you. I mean, I don't know how many people are getting these stickers, but you're one of them. I'm glad you like them, Kira. Yeah. So, thank you for coming along. Very low energy, chill stream. Make one for you personally. Let me make a note. I mean, all of these go up for a vote anyway, so if it gets voted for. So yeah, thank you for coming to stream. Low energy. Tomorrow we're doing more Rio and the Tendrils fob. This. There it is. Can you rig the votes? Not mechanically. Psychologically, possibly. You can threaten people with chibi headbutts. Yay! That's cute. Yeah. So we're playing more of that. I'm looking forward to getting that. We are still chasing the four-legged friend, if I recall. Who took the water thing. I can't remember. They took the doohickey, and we need it, and we fell down into Deep Nest, and now we've got to get it back out again. But we got double jump, so yeah, we'll get there. But I want to go down first, if I remember correctly. We can talk about this next time. Thank you for coming to stream. These streams are nothing without you guys. So thank you for all the good suggestions. At least half of these were yours. So yeah, thanks. Thank you for doing my job for me. Yeah, have a grand old time, everyone. And I'll leave you with the happy-go-lucky theme of the Dung Defender. Enjoy yourselves. See you at some point in the future. Goodbye.